roll call by our city recorder.
Mayor Roland Dykes.
Here.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Here.
Alderman Mike Hansel. Alderwoman Luana Ottinger.
Here.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Here.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Here.
City Attorney Terry Hurst.
Here.
City Administrator James Fincham.
Here.
Thank you. In your book, you have received a copy of the minutes of the previous meetings from regular session of May 9th, 2023. If you had a chance to take a look at those minutes, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written. Second.
We have a motion to approve the minutes of regular session May 9th, 2023. It has been properly seconded. Please signify your acceptance by the normal sign of aye.
Aye.
Nays like sign. Hearing none, motion carries. There are no proclamations and a recognition of citizens by the mayor. Does any of the council have anything they'd like to say? Okay. Communications from our city administrator, Mr. James Fincham.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a short agenda. The employees at the street department asked me to relay their thanks and appreciation to the board for the new asphalt roller. They've been out for the last couple of weeks patching potholes and sections, and they went back and redone some that were done with the old roller because the old roller was just worn out and it would not get the patches smooth. They'd still be rough. And so now they say that the new one, and like the old one was about 30 years old, I think, and the new one is easier to use and does a much better job. And they asked me to thank you all for getting them that piece of equipment. It's really helped them. But the only other thing I have is just a quick overview. We have been approached by the county about the proposition of possibly consolidating the recreation programs, city and county. Tim Dockery and I have talked about it, and I've mentioned it to a couple of you all, and everybody's in agreement that we're open to discussion of it. That, you know, it could benefit the program to provide a better product to the public, and we will have ongoing negotiations about that and see where that goes. As you all know, we have already agreed in principle to consolidate animal control. Whenever we get the new building built, then that's something we're going to look at moving forward with on that. And then also we are working with the county on coming up with a plan on from the sanitation departments with the landfill and our sanitation and use of the transfer station out there and the putting of compactors on our property out there. And so we're working with them also from that. So that's three things that we are currently either in negotiations or in the process of putting a plan in place to work with the county to help improve the service. But the one thing, and I want to make it, I've made it abundantly clear to Mayor Rob, at no point will the city put any money into a county operation. We'll work with them and glad to do it, glad to consolidate and try to make a product better, a service better, but at no point can it create any additional cost to the city taxpayers because they must still continue to get what they pay for with their county taxes. And I will not let them be double dipped to where that they're having to pay for the same service twice through the county and the city. But I will, up until that's the only place I draw the line. I will work with them any way I can to help them and help our public and try to provide a better service, but at no additional cost to us. I've been very clear about that to Mayor Matheson, and he's in agreement. He understands that. And so we're going to try to keep moving forward with all those projects, and I'll keep y'all up to date on where we are. That's all I got, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Item 6 is appointment of boards, commissions, and committees. And item A is consideration of appointment to the Cock County Partnership Board. We don't have a name, but is there...
Well, Mayor, I'm sorry, I apologize, I should have got that to you. This is a position that rotates, and Alderman Smith has served on it for the past year, and Alderman Reagan, I kept wanting to say Igor, I'm sorry. I had Igor in my head and I was fighting it, I didn't want to say it. Alderman Reagan has graciously agreed to serve this year. So it would be our recommendation that you appoint him. I'm sorry, I should have got that to you prior.
Okay.
I'm glad you didn't think of my nickname.
Okay, so we won't really have to vote on that one, but
No, it's an appointment made by you.
congratulations, Alderman Reagan.
And I'm not trying to jump ahead of you, you may have been going to point it out, but we will have to appoint a replacement, not tonight, but we will have to appoint a replacement on the beer board for L.C. Gregg, who sadly passed away.
Okay, yeah.
And so we at the next meeting, and they need to be thinking about a possible candidate to serve in that position.
Okay.
We will have to fill that. And something I forgot to mention while under my portion, Alderman Hansel said to send everybody his regrets that he couldn't be here, but he's been sick, and so he's at home resting. But he said otherwise he would have been here.
Okay.
And I told him I'd share that. So.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations, Alderman Reagan. I'm sure you will serve admirably.
Thank you.
If not, we'll have a chat. In my office. It's been a while since you got called to the principal's office, but we'll see. Okay, item 7 is reports from committees, members of council, and other officers. Do we have any reports due? Apparently not, so we'll move on. Item 8, old business or unfinished business, is item A, consideration of the second reading of ordinance number 2023-08, budget amendment for Newport Grammar School.
And Mayor, I'll read the caption of that ordinance into the record. It's ordinance 2023-08, an ordinance of amending the annual operating budget and capital program of the city of Newport, Tennessee, fiscal year 2022-2023 for Newport Grammar School.
Heard the reading of the ordinance. What is the board's pleasure?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the board to approve consideration of second reading of ordinance number 2023-08, budget amendment for Newport Grammar School. It has been properly seconded. We'll need a roll call. Tina?
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger.
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item B is consideration of second reading of ordinance number 2023-09, budget amendment for the city of Newport.
And that's ordinance number 2023-09, an ordinance of amending the annual operating budget and capital program of the city of Newport, Tennessee, fiscal year 2022-2023.
Okay, you heard the reading of the ordinance number 2023-09. What is the board's pleasure?
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Okay.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the board to approve consideration of second reading of ordinance number 2023-09, budget amendment for the city of Newport. Has been properly seconded. We will need roll call.
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger.
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item C is consideration of second reading of ordinance number 2023-10, budget for the city of Newport.
And that is ordinance number 2023-10, an ordinance of the city of Newport, Tennessee, adopting the annual operating and capital budget for the city of Newport and the annual budget for the Newport Grammar School and tax rate for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023, and ending June 30th, 2024.
Okay, you've heard the reading of the ordinance, number 2023-10. What is the board's pleasure?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, you have a motion on the board then to approve consideration of second reading of ordinance number 2023-10, budget for the city of Newport. It has been properly seconded. Please signify, well, we need a roll call. Sorry.
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger,
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan,
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Under new business, item A is consideration of first reading of ordinance number 2023-11, amending the zoning ordinance, Chapter 3, General Provisions, Section 309, Signs, Prohibited Signs, Electronic Reader Board.
This ordinance will add language to the zoning ordinance to make the reader board regulations just a little bit stricter. Right now, we have nothing that says how much of the sign needs to be actual sign that meets our sign standards and what can be the reader board. So this makes it so that 60% of the sign has to be actual manufactured sign that advertises the business on the property that the sign is located, and then the reader board can only be no more than 40% of that sign, so that you can't have a giant reader board and then something this big that says Gary's Smoke Shop or whatever, because we need more of those.
And Mayor, I'll read the caption of that ordinance into the record. It's ordinance 2023-11, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the city of Newport, Chapter 3, General Provisions, Section 309, Signs, Prohibited Signs, Electronic Reading Board.
This did pass the Planning Commission with favorable recommendation.
Okay. Okay, you've heard the reading of the ordinance. What is the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, you have a motion on the board to approve consideration of first reading of ordinance number 2023-11. It has been properly seconded. We need a roll call. Tina, please.
Luana Ottinger,
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan,
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Thanks, Tina. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Item B is consideration of downtown mural for the chamber. You have a copy of that proposed mural, I think, in your package.
Like you said, there's a copy that was sent to you all, and we'd just like for you to look at it, and we want to put a mural on the, and I had the address, but I have forgotten it, I'm sorry, where the courthouse parking lot is that faces Ryan's. It's on that wall, so it would be visible when people go down that main highway, so that they'd go to Asheville or anywhere else. We wanted it somewhere that it would be on a main road, and also somewhere where people could park. They could get off and park and have their picture made with it, and start maybe having some of these done. So we would like to know for you all to approve that we can have it done, and I hope you like it.
Item up for consideration. What's the board's pleasure?
Make a motion for that.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion for consideration of downtown mural for the chamber on first reading. It has been properly seconded. I don't need a roll call, but need a vote. Everybody in favor? Aye. And nays like sign? Hearing none, motion carries. Item C is consideration of State Highway 2023-24 City Maintenance Agreement.
Yes, this is an annual agreement that we have with the Department of Transportation for all of the roads that are inside the city limits. Any maintenance that needs to be done, we take care of that. And I'm asking that you renew the contract. It's the same as it was last year. And the money received is $62,032.15.
Okay, Heard the reading of the consideration of State Highway 2023-24 City Maintenance Agreement. What's the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the board for consideration of State Highway 2023-24 City Maintenance Agreement has been properly seconded. Please signify your acceptance by the normal sign of aye.
Aye.
Nays, like sign. Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Item 10 is bids, purchases, and expenses. I think Ben is still standing by, so we'll, consideration of bids for a truck for the street department.
I'm up next. This is to replace a 40-year-old truck that we have. It's a 1983 Chevrolet, and we put out bids for it, and we got one only from Ramsey's of East Tennessee Auto Sales. We got one bid back on it, and it's for a 2007 F-350 Super Duty. I'm asking the approval that we could purchase this truck to replace the 40-year-old truck that we have.
And the cost will be $22,000.
Yes.
Consideration of bids for truck for the street department in the amount of $22,000, and it is budgeted in the 2022-23 budget. What is the board's pleasure?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the board for consideration of the bid for a truck for the street department in the amount of $22,000, and it has been properly seconded. We do need a roll call.
Alderwoman Luana Oninger.
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item B is consideration of bids for a trailer for Parks and Rec.
Steve, what's your nickname? Come on, you can tell.
I'm not telling what my wife told me.
All right, okay. One of the things that we've done, we've been able to purchase some new equipment, not only through the Parks and Recreation, but through the street department, a skid steer and the new roller. And we looked at quite a few different trailers that can transport these to different sites. And one of the trailers that we looked at was a hydraulic that lowered to the ground, then it raised up once you got your equipment on it. But once we got the original price, or the price that come in on it, we said, well, we need to reconsider. We don't think Mr. Fincham will like that coming before the city council. So we searched around and found this guy that has what's called a gator lift trailer. And the back portion of it will tilt so that you can bring on your equipment, then it will tilt itself back up, and no more than tire height is what it'll do. So we brought it, we loaded the scissor lift that we bought, that's 9,000 pounds. It's the heaviest machine I think I've ever seen. Then we've got the skid steer, then we've got the roller. So justifying it that we're going to use it to transport that equipment with, and we've already borrowed the other one to make sure that it would work. So we bid it, and that price came in at $15,495,000.
Yeah. What would it be?
$15,495.
Denied.
After 30 on the other trailer, we might want to go with it then, right? Sorry about that. But definitely, we did bid it, and it is a budgeted line item.
Yes.
And this will also be utilized by Ben's department. It's like a lot of our equipment, there's not enough need for each department to have duplicate pieces of equipment. So we buy a piece of equipment and we share it among the various departments so that we can get the most utilization of it. And the same with this trailer.
Okay. All right, you've heard the consideration of the bid for a trailer for Parks and Rec in the amount of $15,495. What is the board's pleasure?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. I'm sorry.
All right, we have a motion on the board there to approve the bid for a trailer for Parks and Rec in the amount of $15,495 has been properly seconded. We need a roll call.
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger.
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, council. DOC, Doc. Believe it. Big Doc.
And item C is consideration of bid for pressure washing for the pavilion at the city park.
Yes, we solicited this, being that how much time and effort that we've put into a lot of stuff. And as far as mowing, we're maintaining 80 acres. Our men are tied up. We've got 3 new men that have come on, so we're in the process of training and doing the things we have to do in our department. But we solicited this J&M, let me make sure, or Jim's Handyman. They're the ones that did the pavilion, not pavilion, the caboose, if you've been to the city park, and how bad it was and how they restored that for us. So we asked them to bid on washing and staining the pavilions at the city park. That's the big pavilion, number 1, that's staining number 2, and of course the swimming pool and the pavilion at the swimming pool. So that's 3 pavilions stained and painted and pressure washed for this amount of money. And so we bid that product out instead of trying to do it separately. Finance suggested that we bid it and bring it as a lump sum to the city council. And I think this will be the last thing that I have as far as bids for June of 23. June of 23.
Okay, you've heard the proposal, consideration of bid for pressure washing for the pavilion at the city park in the amount of $10,355.
That's painting and staining, pressure washing, painting and staining.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the board then to approve consideration of bid for pressure washing for the pavilion, that's staining and painting.
Thank you. I don't want to just say pressure washing.
It has been properly seconded. Please signify your acceptance. No, not. Roll call, I'm sorry.
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger.
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, Tim.
Mayor, thank you. Council, thank you.
Item 11 is comments from the citizens. Is there anyone here that wishes to be heard today? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Or at least till next meeting. All right, if not, then we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Got it.
Second.
We are adjourned.
No.